I think ultimately, if you just want to tell the story of like this thing that unfolded in public and laugh about it, I don't think there's any obligation on you to do anything about that, really. A man who's pushing 30, having a very close relationship with a literal child. We have good reason to believe that Jake has been told this is a child. Okay. I cannot imagine responding to a DM from a 13-year-old.
Jake? Jake? What have you been up to, Jakey boy? What is this, Jake?
Yo, big ups Nathan Weddle in chat. Let's go. Big ups Nathan Weddle. Let's go, Nathan.
What's going on there?
So, a month ago, 2 months ago maybe, I think, Lex was on Reddit. Basically saying that Jake Weddle, this is Lex Weddle, the Say It Again girl. Do you guys remember Say It Again? We remember Say It Again? Yeah, anyway, so Lex Weddle is awesome. We love Lex Weddle because, and here's a key point that I think people almost forget, Chud seems to forget in his coverage, is Jake Weddle threatened to sue me, and less importantly, threatened to sue Hellbent. Which is a real move. I'm not going to lie. So I do back his psycho girlfriend who's trying to ruin his life with hacking and grooming allegations, actually. Because that was a real move. So yeah, I do hope your psycho ex-girlfriend ruined your life, actually. In fact, she's not, I don't even think she's a psycho. She's got her head screwed on right. She's doing bad things against Jake, so she can't be that crazy, can she? Like, anyone who sees that Jake Weddle's a total piece of shit has to, you know, can't be that crazy, truly. I don't see that that's possible. So, I want to watch, basically, I caught wind of his grooming allegations, and there wasn't a lot of information, so I reached out to Lex Weddle on Reddit, and asked for the DMs, or, like, anything I could get. I don't think that's it, I think it's the DMs. I think I was asking for the, Mr. Beast investigation server logs, because that's where apparently a big fight happened where it all came out that Jake was talking to this 13-year-old girl. Basically, I just, so I messaged her on Reddit after seeing her talking about it on some subreddit, arguing with the 13-year-old about whether the relationship was appropriate. I messaged her and I said, "Hi there, I've seen the latest Jake drama unfolding on Mr. Beast Snark in the last 2 weeks. Can you share more info or screenshots?" She says, "What drama? I don't check this account a lot. Oh, you mean Jake talking to a 13-year-old, now 14? Yeah, I have that. Who's this?" And then sends me a screenshot of someone else's account. I'm like, I've got no idea who that is. And yeah, the Jake and Snow stuff. And she says, "Okay, listen. Jake's not a person who can handle online hate like a tool, as you guys know. Reason I stepped in so heavily is because he told me he was afraid it would lead him to suicide, yet he kept feeding it. While I am concerned for the minor, I'm not going to stoop to his low to spread commentary to send hate his way, like he did to me when I had to leave him. I begged Morale not to leak any of the stuff I sent him. I genuinely thought he cared, so I showed him some things. He left a lot out, of course, and I learned my lesson to never get involved in that shit again. I didn't engage with any of it because I knew Jake needed the quote-unquote win for dopamine, and I don't lose sleep over commentary shit like he does. A lot of us who knew him IRL have been trying to get him help. Cap. I don't want to see him hurt himself if people online turn him again. I don't want a child to have to experience the online drama machine. So respectfully, I will not be giving anything. But there were many people on that server who saw and were calling him out for it. Except Cam Nuggets, who was defending him and has kept it hush because they're buddies. Hope you understand. So I didn't reply to this. Because it was like, okay, well, you're not giving me the evidence, so this is a dead end. However, she did show up on Morale's stream just a week or two later. And I managed to get on. I managed to get on and ask a couple questions. So, let's see.
That's fine. Only league from Kuihman.
So let's run this back. Let's see how this opened. So I was playing a game called Kazan, the First Berserker, on Kick when this happened. Well, I wasn't even intending to call in, really, but they started talking about me.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't think that's true at all. Morale's never done anything wrong.
I think it's very obvious that I'm not going to give you significant amounts of pushback because I think it's funny to have you on.
Let's actually get decent.
Why would I know the
That answers my question. Okay. Don't cosplay as a Miata owner.
Why would I know the alternate name?
Because it's a pretty niche car.
It's a pretty neat. It's one of the most popular cars of all time.
So yeah, Morale claimed to have a Miata here, and Lex checked him on it.
Kuihman based ADC main.
Thank you, Hick Fury. Thank you. I am LARPing a little bit. I switched between ADC and top a lot when I played League. It was like Darius or Darius sort of Wukong when he was like playable top. Ezreal bot. Jinx bot. Those were probably my tops. I played Sion like years and years and literally like, but when he was first I think I main Sion like the season when he was first reworked. But I don't think I really played him much after that.
Outright, but this is the only person she'll talk to because she's terrified of criticism or any pushback. Do you know who I'm talking to? I'm talking to like the most criticizing pushbacky streamer. Like out of all.
So here, Lex says that Morale is the most criticizing pushback-y streamer of all time. She's saying this is the hardest interview, the hottest environment to go into.
Car.
It's a pretty neat. It's one of the most popular cars of all time.
Outright, but this is the only person she'll talk to because she's terrified of criticism or any pushback. Do you know who I'm talking to? I'm talking to like the most criticizing pushbacky streamer. Like out of all of you guys. Morale is probably the worst one for me to be talking to. Aiden.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't think that's true at all. Morale's never done anything wrong.
I think it's very obvious that I'm not going to give you significant amounts of pushback because I think it's funny to have you on stream. And I think you know that.
That's lame.
Do you know that, or do you know that, or no?
I don't know.
I think you do know that. And I don't think you should lie. I think you should just say it.
That's so not true though. If you think this is the one that would give you the most pushback, you are more delusional than I thought.
Dude, Resi and Slasher do sound kind of similar, don't they? That's a point. That's crazy.
Would you talk to Kuihman?
No.
What if he talked to you about League?
He's not gonna talk to me about League, bro.
If I could get him to come in here and talk to you about League, would you talk to him? I'll take that as a yes. I'll be right back. All right, let's get Kuihman. I think you do know that. I don't think you should lie. I think you should just say it.
No lying.
That's so not true though.
I'm not logged in on this account. God. Would you talk to Kuihman?
No.
What? Oh my god. I would talk about League.
Come in here and talk. You'll talk to her about. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right, Kuihman agreed to come in here on the only if you talk about League with him. That's it. That's all he wants to talk about. It's just League.
Okay, but I am gonna have to go very soon because my.
That's fine. Only League. Only League. Only League from Kuihman.
Hi.
Hello.
We talking about League?
Yeah, League of Legends.
Yep.
I like Ezreal. What do you mean about Ezreal, Lex?
I'm a Poppy main. I don't know.
Wow.
What
are
lane do you play?
Are we mid lane people? What are we?
Did Jake groom a teenager?
Oh my god, I fucking knew it. I was waiting for that to happen. Kuihman, you already messaged me on Reddit about this, and I sent you a very lengthy reply where I stated, if I say anything, I'm worried that man will kill himself. So...
He did.
Well, none of us want that, obviously, but, I mean, if you could post some of the evidence to help substantiate his claims, that would be awesome.
That's just not my job. Aren't you guys, like, don't you guys have, like, research teams?
Okay, the topic goes back and forward a little bit here, so I'm just gonna grab a coffee and let's play for a moment. I mean, how do I get them? Can you give me a lead here?
You're literally internet people. Go find them.
Mid lane?
Talk to Cam Nuggets. Cam Nuggets was in that server defending it. So, if anything.
Worrying stuff that Cam Nuggets is in there defending grooming teenagers. If that was happening indeed.
Very
like, you know that Cam Nuggets is a pedophile, right?
It's very in character for Cam Nuggets, I agree.
You agree that he's a pedophile?
I don't have anything to substantiate that, but...
Well, I don't think he's necessarily a pedophile.
He's into pudgy kids.
And then Quinthio joined the server as well. I don't know
Quinthio's bald. It's not a good look.
I know that those two people are apologists for him, so...
Why are these people joining servers with 14-year-olds in them?
That's what I'm saying.
Why were you in a server with a 14-year-old?
I mean, Yeah, I guess I was in there for like 20 minutes.
What's the youngest you'd go, Lex?
Bro, legal. Sorry.
You're in Canada, right? It's like 16 there. You'd go 16.
16.
It is not 16 here, brother.
Wait, it's 17 in Canada.
I also have nothing in common with people that young. I also don't believe you own a Miata. I need proof.
I don't think I'm gonna show you a car that I have. Maybe if we got to know each other better, I'd show you a car, but
I would love to get to know you better, but all you ask me in our PMs is, does it jiggle? Does it jiggle, Lex? Does it jiggle?
I don't think I would. That's not appropriate. I would not do that.
Yeah, Kuihman, you didn't respond to my message after that, so I was like,
I mean, you left her on red?
My game is really loud. I can't hear what Lex is saying right now.
He left.
Lex, do you go mid lane in League of Legends?
No.
What lane do you do?
Bot.
Bot lane? Isn't that like cowardly and pathetic?
If you're support, yeah.
What is, you said you play like Bobo or some shit? Is your character support?
Bobo. Yes, Bobo is my favorite character.
Is it support?
No.
Tank support, yeah.
I mean, you can play either one. I play a few. I play like Vel'Koz and whatnot.
So you just enjoy like staying back and letting like people just be cannon fodder for you and like no.
I guess you're for some of this.
I think it looked.
No.
I think you do have
side shenanigan. So.
Oh, you're poor. Without that Jake Weddle money, you do have the time.
I'll consider it. I'll consider
You'll
it.
Consider it?
I dead ass don't. I just picked up another side shenanigan. So.
Oh, you're poor. Without that Jake Weddle money, you're resorting to multiple jobs.
What if I just like doing things and not sitting at my computer all day, Morale? What about that?
How much money does he really have?
Why are we?
Yeah, tell us some embarrassing details about Jake Weddle.
Bro.
How long does he last in bed?
Oh my
Jesus Christ.
Does he have phimosis?
How big is it?
Oh my god.
What is that?
Does his foreskin look weird?
He's American. They don't have them, right?
Some people find it immoral to chop off. You know, it depends.
Americans have morals? What?
No, you're thinking of Canadians.
Lex, you should answer one of those questions.
I don't even remember what they were. They were shot at me like fucking rapid fire.
What's his cock look like?
Dude, it looks like a cock.
That's concerning.
I'm so sorry to break that.
I don't know why you
would
would admit that on live, but I guess it's out there.
I'm so sorry.
What's his deepest fear? What's his deepest fear? What's he scared of?
Himself.
Wow.
He's scared of like cutting himself by accident, making like what do you mean? What does that mean?
No.
Was he a victim of child grooming?
I knew this was gonna happen.
Christ.
You knew this was gonna happen? That we were gonna ask if he was.
I knew that this conversation was gonna happen.
Asking you about Jake Weddle's wiener?
About Jake Weddle being molested?
Bro, what?
Well, that's what we're asking.
What are you? Yeah, what are you referencing?
Don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I'll take that as a no.
The odds aren't in his favor. Let's be serious.
If he was, that'd
be tragic.
I mean, yeah, that would be fucking.
I think we could all be friends.
That'd be tragic. Wouldn't that be tragic, guys? If Jake Weddle got molested, wouldn't that be tragic?
I'm just gonna throw that out there, I guess.
You mean
Wouldn't you hate to find that?
This group right here.
I think we can.
All of the above.
We need one more person, and we need a league team. So just get Jake. We can throw him in jungle or something.
Jake is sorry. That man cannot play League.
You and Kuihman both play League. Me and Rezi both
can figure it out.
We can learn.
I think I've wanted to do a stream where I teach you League. I think that would be hilarious.
You want to do a stream? You want to do a stream where you teach me how to play League of Legends?
Yeah, you can be my Yumi support.
That sounds like a pedophile term. What does that mean?
You can play.
It is. It's a very young cat. It's a young.
It's a young cat. Yeah. You want me to be a Shotokan cat for you?
Dude, that character is the most brain dead character. Just all you gotta do is W-E. You'd be so good at it.
I don't know what I don't know what that means. I've never played League of Legends.
Do you know the letters W and E on your keyboard?
W and E? Well, sure.
Yeah, so basically you press those back and forth, and that's how you play that character. That's all you do.
I just got a DM from someone who I won't say, but they're telling me to ditch Rezi. Someone really doesn't like you being in here.
No, I understand. I'll talk to you later.
No, I like.
Sorry.
No, that man was my only hope.
For what? You're asking me to play League of Legends. What do you mean? What? Your only hope of what?
He was nice. When you deafened, he was nice.
He's always nice.
Great.
Do you like DayZ?
Is that a game?
you like satisfactory?
Is what?
Okay, hold on. What else do I have? Do you like
Anything else happening?
Alatro?
Do we get back onto the Jake Weddle topic? I can't
I
remember.
like cathartic release, and then
Why-
it
how
makes
much
you
do I
even
talk?
more
When do I
mad,
talk?
and then it's like 2 negatives cancel out and make a positive, basically.
I gotta go. I'm sorry. It's late. It's getting late.
Okay, perfect.
Are you gonna post any DMs, or how do I get these? How do I get the DMs of Jake? Yep, here we go. Here we go. I knew I'd bring it up again.
Makes you even more mad, and then it's like 2 negatives cancel out and make a positive, basically.
I gotta go. I'm sorry. It's late. It's getting late.
Okay, perfect.
Are you gonna post any DMs, or how do I get these? How do I get the DMs of Jake Weddle grooming this teenager?
Why do you want those so bad?
Because I think it'd be funny.
I don't know. I'm not the.
Lex, if you were able to
Commentary
find me an
person.
anonymous source that would give me information about this anonymously, and they wouldn't be credited at all, no matter what, would I be able to get information about the Jake Weddle grooming allegations?
I don't know, because the only people who kept logs of that.
No. Don't say. Do you think you'd be able to find me any anonymous source that would be willing to give me any information about this, and they would be kept anonymous?
No.
You don't think there would be anybody willing to?
You need to talk to Cam Nuggets, man. Cam Nuggets was in there. Cam Nuggets saw it all.
Well, I mean, I'm talking to you because you posted it on Reddit. That's what
Yeah,
I heard about
I did,
that. That's from the
and-
Reddit comments.
Exactly. Yeah. And when I posted publicly is the extent of what I'm gonna post, because I don't want a 14-year-old to have to go through the throes of drama online.
Do you think going through
Well, can you
drama
give it-
online or being groomed is worse?
Okay.
I'm worried that if that stuff gets whatever, that Jake will stop talking to her and she will like harm herself, and then Jake will harm himself because he doesn't have his little parasocial BFF anymore. Like, we can't ruin her illusion. You gotta be careful with that stuff.
I don't think that's really your consideration at all. I feel like you've claimed that you were doing stuff for Jake's well-being for a long time, and that wasn't totally true. I feel like you don't want to do it because you're worried that you might attract attention, or that something you say about it might be defamatory or something like that. Seems more likely to me.
No, don't worry about that. I haven't gotten a lawsuit yet, so.
Well, no, but I mean, I think you would be concerned if you were levying, like, essentially grooming allegations against someone. You might that might blow back on you in some way.
No, I'm
Not
not
at all?
really that. I'm not really that concerned. I've also never explicitly said that word, but also it's not really a crime to, like, that's not really a legally something cut out in law, so it's not really a crime. It's kind of more of an internet slang.
I'm
thing.
saying
Grooming
like, defamation
is a
is, like,
crime.
one
It's called
example
corruption of a
things that
minor.
could- yeah, well,
Really?
I mean, it's not
Maybe
really
in the
about that anyway.
States.
It doesn't have to be a crime through defamation. But my point is, it could blow back on you in some way. It doesn't have to be a defamation suit. You're already getting negative. Well, okay, here's the thing, Hody Marimbo. Why is sharing these DMs that only I have important? Don't you have researchers? Lamau Mogged. She didn't even have the DMs. She doesn't even have the DMs. I didn't know what I was asking for, really. What I really wanted was that what she had was the Mr. Beast server logs. But she's playing like she's got the DMs. She's like acting like she's got the DMs right now. She fucking doesn't. Lying bitch.
Bro, I don't give. I just
I just don't think it's very likely you're concerned about Jake's well-being. Yeah, if you want to know about the Jake Weddle grooming allegations, you gotta go through CSAM nuggets first. Bro, what are we doing? Show me the DMs.
Okay, you can think that. That's totally fine, and I totally respect your wanting to think that. I don't really mind.
I thought we were gonna talk about League of Legends.
I thought so too. Like, what the freak?
You like Shota cats?
We need to talk about League of Legends.
Do you like Shota cats?
No, I'm not into all that.
Okay. That Asian girl continued to refuse to debate me today again. I wanted to.
You know, I was joking when I said she wanted to debate bestiality, right? I didn't actually say that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was joking. I didn't realize you took that entirely seriously. I thought you realized it was a joke, but reached out anyway. I didn't realize you actually thought that she wanted to debate bestiality.
That's what she wanted.
Okay, so if you guys remember, if you guys watched the Erudite video where I watched her talking to some Asian med student, I joked to Mrao that that Asian med student wanted to debate bestiality and that he should reach out. I said it quite sarcastically. It was not meant to be taken seriously. It was not in any way meant to trick him or anything like that. But he took it seriously and then started hassling her to debate bestiality with him and accused her of running.
Want it?
No, she sort of like spoke about like.
I mean, I just think it's. I think it's a little. Well, hold on. Well, just to be clear, I think it's a little. You know, I mean, like if you're just gonna slander Erudite and say that she had a conversation that she didn't have, I mean, maybe paywalling her content isn't like the worst idea. You're kind of an asshole.
Is that slander? That's slander.
You're kind of an asshole, dude.
Well, that sucks for you, man. I think we're taking that seriously.
You come in here, you don't even talk about League of Legends, and then you tell me that.
I did talk about League of Legends. We opened with League of Legends.
I guess.
That's a lie.
No. Gonna be friends again?
We were already friends, I thought.
Well, I was upset and I stopped, but I guess it's whatever, I guess. I mean, hey, Lex.
Hey.
Lex, so are we friends yet?
Lex, are we friends?
I don't think that's good on, like, for you guys to be friends with me. So
I'll be your friend. I'll be your friend, Lex.
No, that's totally fine. No, it's okay.
I'll be your friend, and we can play video games and stuff.
Okay, so I think this is
dude, I don't have time to do that.
We can talk about cars and things.
You tell me one.
I think it's done now. I don't think we get any more.
Go for it, like add him to the call.
What he wants to say, like Lex, why are you saying? Why did you? Okay, Aiden's saying if he doesn't get added to the call, he will stream about Lex for 50 days straight, and he's not joking.
I don't care. You can do that, brother.
Yeah, so Aiden's in chat this whole time, just like begging to join. He just wants to get in so fucking bad.
Go for it.
Go for it, like add him to the call.
What he wants to say, like Lex, why did you hack Jake Weddle's accounts? Lex, why'd you do that?
All right, dude.
Oh.
You know what happened with that? I mean, no one, even if I say anything, no one's gonna fucking believe me anyway, but I don't really care. Bro literally left his Discord logged into my computer in like the 60th Chrome tab that he had open. And I didn't even realize until like 4 days later, and I went through all my Chrome tabs on my laptop and noticed that he was still logged in.
I believe her.
And bro literally doesn't know how to do any tech things, like, because I had to do all that for him. He doesn't know how to log out of other accounts, and I was talking to a couple of Jake's IRL friends at the time, and I was seeing these messages pop up of him going on Aiden's stream, and me and the friends were like, this is not good. This is going to be bad for him. This is not good for his. You can believe me. You cannot believe me. I really don't give a shit at this point.
Okay, well, okay. So I mean, okay. So that is kind of an answer. So you're saying that you and his IRL friends discussed that it would be best for you to prevent him from getting on the stream.
Yes.
Okay.
Because all of these people, all of those, like Aiden, all those people. No.
What's wrong with Aiden?
All of these people.
I believe her.
X6217X fucking dude.
She's just trying to do what's best for Jake.
David, come on, man.
All of those people who have been, like, you guys don't understand. I had to console this man literally every single day over commentary shit. Every day. He would, like, have panic attacks. He doesn't know how to handle this stuff at all, which is totally fair.
Morale's the same, so you can console morale now.
Only if you want to. Yeah.
Which is totally fair, but I had to console this man every
I have panic attacks about other things
day.
though, so you'll have to learn.
About your Miata?
Miata?
He was having panic attacks every day about the Free Nathan Weddle movement and rape Jake Weddle.
Yes, he was every single day. Like, it was really hard to watch, honestly, and because, believe it or not, I care about the guy. And
was he on coke at the time? Was he actively abusing cocaine at that point?
I don't know. If he was hiding it from me. He was taking my Adderall though.
Can I have some of the Adderall?
If you ask nicely.
Thanks. That means a lot.
But yeah, the whole reason that he even went on commentary, he sent my song to Cam Nuggets, which Morale knows.
I think someone just posted your song on Reddit and I saw it.
Yeah, because he sent my song to Cam Nuggets and they were like, oh, send this to commentary, it's fucking dog shit. And then people from commentary were like hype over the song, they liked it or whatever. Whatever, like I made that in like 7 hours. It's kind of.
And she's so humble too, guys. She's so humble too. Very humble. Very, very humble.
Yeah, because he sent my song to Cam.
It's a banger. Let's be serious. It's a banger.
Why is this good? What the fuck?
Look, that line too. Great timing. It's on Spotify still, for show you. It's still on Spotify.
Say it again. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Such a mess, but you're the man. Have to lie to keep your friends. I feel sorry for them. Time, patience, sanity.
Wow, oh, what a song.
Nuggets,
wow.
and they were like, oh, send this to commentary, it's fucking dog shit. And then people from commentary were like hype over the song, they liked it or whatever. Whatever, like I made that in like 7 hours. It's kind of shit, but yeah, it kind of goes hard. And people were like
Only kind
jiving
of?
to it, ironically. And he got mad that people liked the song. And so him and Cam Nuggets were like, what the fuck? That wasn't what I thought they were gonna do. Like, we need to make them hate her, blah, blah, blah. It's literally all in, there's messages that prove that. But he sent it to Cam Nuggets and he was like, yo, spread this around, but make sure that nobody knows that it was me that spread it around. And so he made it look like I was the one who caused drama. In reality, musicians just make songs about their exes. That's like what musicians do. And
I've never made a song about my ex.
Do that, but they don't always sample secret recordings of lyrics screaming at them in the song, do they? That's not very common at all.
You don't listen to a lot of music, do you?
He's a big Kendrick guy. So
That's just a new thing to me. Also, you're overstating your you know, this was a beat that you bought, was it not? Instrumental that you bought.
Yeah, that's what producers like. That's the whole point of a producer. Sometimes I make my own beats, and sometimes when I just want to get some feelings out quickly, I just buy a track from license a track from a producer. Do you know how the music industry works, brother?
Lex, I feel like this is to give a little pushback. I feel like this is a relatively easy concession to make, right? Say like, yeah, it probably wasn't a good idea to use like a secret recording that he didn't consent to in a song, right? You don't have to regret making the song, but just that one bit, I think you could probably like look back in retrospect and say like, yeah, it was probably a little rude.
If that's what you think, yeah, that's fine.
I'm asking you what you think.
I don't think anybody should be yelling at.
What does Aiden want to get in there for? What does he actually want? I don't understand.
I think he
what
wanted
does he
to
want to press on.
I don't know exactly.
It was Ali. It wasn't a free track. They're free to use.
Oh yeah, so I'm like asking him, what does Aiden want to press on? I think I DM him too. I'm actually asking. I'm asking him, what do you want brought up? And I get off, and he goes, "Oh, you swept. You didn't bring anything up." It's like, dude, you didn't tell me. You literally just tell me what. But no, he wanted the glory. He wanted to get in and bring up his fucking little dossier that he's got from Lex's old friends or whatever, and start, you know, fucking screeching about her, I guess. So none of it gets brought up.
On profit, but you buy a license if you want to put it on Spotify or SoundCloud.
I think when we collab on a song, it'll be good.
Okay, my video is...
Okay, well that's it anyway. Nope. Nope. God, this guy sucks. This is one of the worst interviews I've ever watched. If you missed the kick stream last night, you missed this. Truly, this shit's awful. So, okay, that's the Lex confrontation from a few weeks ago. Obviously, not a whole lot there. But I did get an opportunity to press her for a little bit of evidence, a little bit of commentary on it. However, more has unfolded. More has unfolded.
Revelation was first introduced.
So, where is Chud's stream? Covered this earlier. Someone has actually been able to obtain DMs between Jake and this 13-year-old. So we're going to take a look. Chud reviewed earlier. The subreddit post has been taken down. So Chud is our archive source here.
Did shipping,
okay, that's wonderful.
basically.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Thanks for watching. This interruption is for you to like.
Based. Jumbo, thank you for the $5. And then Lex claimed that there were further messages privately between Jake and this individual who's drawing these images, who was apparently a minor, okay? And it was claimed that they were, like, quite egregious.
Yeah, so a point that's going to come up, I saw some of Chud's coverage earlier, so I already know what's going to happen in a lot of this. Point that's going to come up is, like, did Jake know? Now, Lex seemed to know, And Lex seems to have introduced Jake to her, kind of, in like an internet introduced way. Been like, hey, look at this person drawing art of you or whatever. So I think Jake probably knew, to be honest. Unless it's not in the chat logs, I'm 13. But from what you can interpret, I think Jake probably knew that it was a kid. Especially because if you look at the subreddit posts, and we'll see a few of them, I think Chud brings them up here. They are drawing just like the absolute most shitty, like childish art in the world. And it's like a lot of it's on like notepad paper. You know, like as if they're in class. It's like in like you know, pen on notepad paper, like they're doodling in class. And they mention being in school and shit in some of the comments with Lex. Anyway, let's have a look.
And the impression...
it's like pretty obvious this is not an adult. I think, personally, it's pretty fucking obvious it's not an adult. That you'd have to be... Jake would have to be exceptionally retarded to not realize it was a child.
I got, reading the claims, was that it was like some sort of grooming that was going on. And I think my gut instinct was that Lex was kind of deranged. And I found it hard to believe that Jake was like a full-blown pedo or something like that, right? Like, it didn't seem right to me that Jake is like a full-blown nonce. But I think after going backwards and forwards, we chat about it and talking about it.
To me. Okay.
I think there was, you know, possibility that he's like a bit weird or something. Maybe something like that. But anyway, I did have a brief skim over the messages, and it seems like that's more or less what it is. But we will see, and we'll have a look, and we'll see what we think. So this is the new thread.
Look, hurt people, hurt people. That's all I'm saying. Guys, there's a great time to remind you as well. 278 people watching right now. 27 likes on stream. There's almost 250 or so people. Wouldn't mind please moving the cursor, thumbs up and clicking it. Or pressing a thumbs up on the mobile device. That'd be hugely appreciated. Now, if you want to take your support one step further, you can donate directly through a stream elements link in the pin chat message. You can also buy a membership to the channel, gift a membership to the channel, gift a whole bunch of memberships. Sorry. Buy a membership to the channel. Gift a membership to the channel. Gift a whole bunch of memberships randomly throughout the chat. Buy a super chat, which will highlight your message and read it on TTS. Buy a super sticker, which is a YouTube image or GIF that will be highlighted in chat, and I'll describe it to you. You can go to discord.gg/Kuihman, twitter.com/Kuihman, or reddit.com/r/Kuihman. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
On the YouTube drama subreddit, which has got a lot of information and screenshots in. So let's have a little...
Also, we're going to do a little goal, okay? We're going to do a goal. We're going to watch Louis Theroux on Kick if we hit the goal, okay, guys? A huge Louis Theroux reacts on Kick if we hit goal. If this goal starts. Is it working? There we go. There we go.
Butchers at this and see the full details. Let's go. Lex is now accusing Jake Weddle of grooming, but wants to show zero proof and wanted to hack the minor. Wait, what?
Yo, thank you, Hick Fury. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Hugely appreciate it, Hick Fury. Thank you, thank you.
Also, another thing to point out with this is there would need to be some pretty serious stuff happening for you to interject and supersede, like, someone coming forward about this on their own. And it does feel...
Yo, Lynn! Insanely generous with the 20 gifted memberships. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you so much. That is hugely appreciated. Thank you.
Like this minor individual is now getting put on blast and looked at and discussed and whatnot. And it's like, is that even correct? Is that even right that they should be, you know, put in this position in the first place? Particularly if you don't have significant evidence of like severe child endangerment or something like that. It's like, to me, and then if you did, you would report it to the authorities, and you want the authorities to handle it and deal with it because they'd have the right tact and way of doing it. That doesn't, you know, involve putting the minor in harm's way or the public eye or something like that. So,
You know, in any usual case, I would say make sure you go to the police before you expose someone. For grooming minors, if you think a minor's being groomed. I mean, to be honest, I'm not even like that. I don't even think that's my position. I think my position is like, you shouldn't cause harm. You shouldn't do things that you think are going to cause harm in any way, obviously. However, if you're not claiming, I feel like my point of go to the police first is like, if you're seeking, and it's about your goal. It's about your goal and what you claim. It's about your goal and what you claim. With this, so let me try and lay this out. If you're trying to like do something with like an actual pedophile, you think there's actually some sexual abuse going on, or something like that, it's a good idea. If you're aiming to, thank you, Quella, for the 10 New Zealand dollars. Thank you. It's a good idea.
Smile.
To first reach out to police if you want accountability. And second to that, if you're claiming to be seeking accountability, to be doing a good thing, then you are obligated, I think, because you've claimed that virtue, you are obligated to follow through. However, in a situation like this, where there isn't no one's accusing sexual abuse or anything, no one thinks that's happening right now. No one, is anyone really claiming to be particularly virtuous? I mean, Lex is claiming to be virtuous as an excuse to not drop stuff. She's saying like, oh, I'm not going to show anything because I'm too good of a person, I guess. But like, ultimately, let's say someone looked in that Mr. Beast server. Let's say I'd done it, right? Let's say I'd gone to that Mr. Beast server and I'd gone and found those messages of all this fight breaking out about whether Jake was grooming her or not. I would have no qualms with just like censoring any POI and maybe the kid's username or whatever, and then just like blasting that out and laughing at it and saying how fucking hilarious it is that Jake's involved with 13-year-olds on the internet. I would have no qualms about doing that. Because it's something that's happened in public. I don't think there's any actionable behavior in terms of like police or legality. I'm not claiming to be, because like if something like this happens in public, does everyone have to handle it? Like, would we say that every onlooker who wants to cover it has to go and talk to the police first, has to try and get it rectified with the police first? I don't think so. I think you would only be obligated to do that if you're claiming to be seeking like some kind of accountability or something. I think ultimately, if you just want to tell the story of like this thing that unfolded in public and laugh about it, I don't think there's any obligation on you to do anything about that, really. You know what I mean? It's only really if you're like moralizing super hard about it that I think you take on that responsibility. If you're moralizing, if you're claiming virtue, if you're claiming to be going after some goal.
It feels like this poor individual has got thrust into this, and that's off the back of Lex wanting to use this individual as a sort of weapon against Jake, rather than it coming to the forefront as a result of them being something extremely serious that needs to be addressed. You see what I mean?
Exactly. There's obviously like, that's assuming it's within the bounds of what we know he's done, right? Because if you had like evidence that there was ongoing sexual abuse, obviously, yeah, you shouldn't just blast it out and potentially ruin an investigation or something. You should first attempt to speak to authorities. But there was never any real reason to think there was sexual abuse going on here, I don't think. No one was ever even accusing that of happening.
But nonetheless, we will also be asking the question, Jake Weddle, like father, like son? Question mark?
I will say it is a disgusting, despicable, inappropriate relationship for a nearly 30-year-old man to be having with a literal child. I've got to say, I personally, like, Jake Weddle, a near 30-year-old man having inappropriate relationships with a literal child, just disgusts me. I try to hammer that phrasing home, okay? Jake Weddle, a man who's pushing 30, having a very close relationship with a literal child on the internet.
We will see. Okay. So, Lex is known to have lied about many things, including this subreddit. And that's obviously the thread about the Hellbent drama that happened a few months ago. But now, they've decided to go against Jake Weddle and have refused to provide evidence. Funny crash out. And then Lex responds, no worse crash out than venting to minors online about your personal problems.
This Jake guy's a terrible, terrible person, Lex. I think I understand where you're going with this.
And then, this response here, you actually haven't provided any evidence of that at all. All we have is you arguing with a 14-year-old online. When you put it like that.
Problem?
Apparently, you haven't even seen the DMs, and Snow even denies this venting. So what is actually your goal here? Because I don't think it is protecting this minor, seems more about you. Correct, true, and fair observation, I would say there. And Lex responds, because I'm not putting a minor's personal conversations out there, and I don't need to prove myself to random people on the internet. Believe whatever you want, it truly does not affect me. If you want to side with someone like Jake, he needs it more than I do, to be honest. Have a good day. And then this response here. Once again, Lex, you're pushing allegations on Jake that you are not proving. And I know Edna is in on this too. Okay. So I've got to ask you, are you really comfortable making allegations for a minor? If they were being groomed, or if Jake was a pedo like you and Edna seemed to want us to think, where is the fucking evidence? Or why didn't this go to the police first? Yeah. I don't know who Edna is. No idea who this Edna character is.
Destiny released court transcripts. I mean, Destiny didn't release some court transcripts, it's just like public, right? He went over them on his stream, yeah, I know. But my understanding, there's not really a whole lot of interest there, from what I could tell. It's just crazy. Like, if they actually, like, the idea that it's his own Discord HTML files, like, it's just insane. Anyway, I don't want to cover all that shit right now.
But I think, yeah, I agree with this. I think this is fairly reasonable.
The reality is Destiny will probably get off. That's, to be honest, that's the reality. I'm pretty sure I've said this the whole time. It's a difficult case to win. No one was even sure if it would apply because of the date that the statute came in. It's unlikely he sees legal consequences. These sorts of things, this sort of indiscretion, it's just unlikely it ever sees legal consequence. It's difficult to prove all the necessary elements. It's a difficult court battle against someone that's pretty rich. You know, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of factors that mean, yeah, it's just, if you're looking for real justice, you're probably going to be disappointed, and you're probably always going to be disappointed.
You know, if you genuinely have got some evidence of someone is being groomed or something, police should be the first to call. And beyond that, it should be, you know, stepping in to expose in an extremely cautious way, taking into account the possible risks to the minor involved. But obviously, Lex doesn't care about any of that and just wants to use this as a weapon against Jake. So thus, she's just been, like, spurging out about it in various Reddit threads. You know, rather than, okay, how do I do this tactfully in a way that minimizes potential risk to the kid while still getting the information out there, you know? And so she's gone about it in, like, the worst possible way. It's Edna Mode. Who is Edna Mode? Edna Mode. Who's that? Edna Mode. Edna E. Mode. Oh, the character from The Incredibles. Okay. Okay, whatever you say.
He got trolled. Chud got trolled. It's over.
Why isn't the minor involved in this situation? You have so much blatant...
I'm not gonna lie. Why would you involve the minor? Like, I don't need the minor's opinion to make judgments about whether the interactions are inappropriate or not. I don't need to hear what the minor's got to say. Why do you have to involve the minor? What is this shit? I heard this in the coverage earlier. The idea... why isn't the minor involved in the situation? We're involving the minor in the court. No, I don't care. I don't give a fuck what the minor thinks. Get the DMs from him, and then tell me what they say.
Blatant bad blood that you aren't even taking the basic steps to proving your claims or proving that this actually did happen, and this happened twice now with you. This is why I discredit you and why everybody else should. Making allegations on behalf of the minor, then abusing the minor herself, very good.
So I understand that, like, victim-led investigation or whatever is like, this is like a thing that they do in like policing and shit a lot of the time, and they try to lean towards in courts now, I think. Or it's some shit like that. There's like a term for it. But on the internet, no, I don't give a fuck. Just show me the evidence.
So there's the original thread. Classic meme from Naked Gun. And I even found out that when their Discord server was up, they wanted to hack the minor. Wait. Hold on. Hold up.
Okay,
What on
problem.
earth?
Okay, mad. W Lex.
No Discord yet. Right. I know you guys want that. Nobody is believing it until their actual Discord archives. Eye roll emoji. Like the Ava Tyson situation. Well, that would entail tricking a 13-year-old to give me their Discord token. That would be both wrong and very unethical. ... But I mean, they seem to really hate you guys like a lot. But at the same time, getting those logs would be useful for verification of anything wrong occurring, but bad ethically. It would be wrong. But also, it would also be kind of good, wouldn't it, when you think about it? It would be ethically wrong, but also there are some arguments for it, some might say.
Chad didn't reply to my message in chat here, okay? He replies to one, he doesn't reply to the other one, because he's a coward and he won't engage with the hypothetical. At what point do you stop? Do you take action, take drastic action to tear down the Weddle and Son infinite rape machine? At what point do we say no more? When? Chud cannot answer this question. When can Lex step in?
Okay, so, yeah. This obviously is like some level of plausible deniability, I guess, but it seems pretty obvious that Lex is at least Lex has left the door open to the idea of tricking a 13-year-old to give them their Discord token, which is tantamount to hacking, in order to access their messages, right? Yeah, exactly. They're making the net good argument. Lex sees a guy there, right, with a severe injury that could be saved, but then looks at the organs and goes, well, there's 5 organs there that could save 5 lives. So do we actually want to save this one guy when we could harvest his organs and actually give them to 5 different people? Because that is actually the net good that we're looking at then, isn't it? So yeah, Lex is at least open.
Bobby says, fuck, marry, kill, Mr. T Lexify, Lex Updog, and Lex Weddle, dude.
To the hacking of the 13-year-old Discord account, it seems. And to me, it's being framed here as caring about the 13-year-old. Lex doesn't give 2 fucks about the 13-year-old. Lex just wants another weapon to use against Lex because she's like a deranged...
It's because Chad can't answer my cutting hypotheticals. Chad ignores me when he can't answer cutting hypotheticals. Like, at which point... when will you be satisfied with tearing down the Weddle and Sons infinite rape machine? How much longer can this generational trauma repeat itself?
BPDX, essentially.
Yeah, style is kind of
you know.
spitting.
Nonetheless, that's that.
I might
Holy
switch
hell,
around
we need
those.
an investigation for this.
Like, really? Like...
Silly Goose didn't do the hack. Oh, wait, hang on a sec. Silly Goose, is Silly Goose Lex? Have I got this wrong? I thought that's Lex, isn't it? Or have I got that bit wrong? I'll take the L if that's not Lex. Silly Goose didn't do the hack. A fake token was given to them. The screenshot is from Silly Goose himself. Even worse, I ended up finding this.
Dude, yeah, why has that slug retard been kicking around again?
Okay. Well, let's hold fire on that. Let's retract that just in case. So Silly Goose might not be Lex. It might be another person. Wait. Lex. Oh, hang on. They're saying Lex wanted to hack the miner. It's not said yet. Okay,
I think
well,
usually people wait for a victim.
Let's continue on anyway. Let's just assume it's an interested third party
Usually.
for the moment. Continuing on. Even worse, I ended up finding this. Could be Lolly. I'm not sure what a 28-year-old could talk to a 13-year-old about at all, if I'm being honest. Do you want all my DMs with him? So this is the minor, I'm guessing. Good grief, no. We don't want to see that. I know the way he works. Should it be held in private chat? He didn't know about your art until I showed him.
He's true. He's a disgusting
No, I don't
guy,
think we
isn't
should
he?
involve a
It's truly
13-year-old in
disgusting.
internet drama for their protection, to be honest. They clearly idolize Jake, and Jake knows that because we talked about it when we were dating. Oh, so this is Lex here. So this is Lex. Okay, so okay, I'm a bit confused then, because the title seemed to suggest Lex was wanting to do this, but Lex seems to be being more reasonable here.
Lex always reasonable, no?
Right? They clearly idolize Jake, and Jake knows that because we talked about it when we were dating. It's very easy for him to take advantage of a young fan for attention. Sad. Take advantage of a young fan for attention. I mean, I guess we'll see the messages when they come up, but I mean...
See, here's the thing, is there was... Okay, so a key part of what Chud's saying throughout this segment is that Jake might not know the age, or that the age wasn't stated. I understand Chud has to hold this line firmly due to his own history. However, I am not under the same obligations. So what I will say is that it's very obvious. It's very obvious this is a child. And not only is it very obvious this is a child, we have good reason to believe that Jake has been told this is a child. Here, I will lay it out. 1. Lex showed Jake this person. Lex clearly knows it's a kid. So I struggle to believe Lex wouldn't have said, oh, yeah, there's this kid drawing our way. Like, it seems like that was the case. It seems like they knew it was a kid based on the correspondence stuff. I think they knew. However, let's miss that out for a moment. Totally drop that one. Let's say you don't believe that. That's not enough for you. Lex talks about how they had a fight in the Mr. Beast investigation server with this 14-year-old, 13-year-old or whatever, about the relationship with Jake. And then later on, a few days or a few weeks later, the comments that I found out about the situation from were this 13, 14-year-old still defending their relationship talking to Jake. And talking about how, oh, it's not distracting them from their schoolwork, which clearly implies that it's an ongoing thing that was still happening up to that point. So I struggle to believe that past when it started getting called out publicly in the Mr. Beast server, that Jake doesn't know at that point, and yet it's still going on. I struggle to believe that. Now, can't 100% prove that. Obviously, we'd have to see the full DM, see how long they go on for, where they start, when they finish. However, I think, preponderance of evidence, it seems incredibly likely to me that Jake knew the age.
From the sounds of it, it's more like...
Yeah. So they were defending their relationship, basically being like, oh, no, it's fine, it's responsible, nothing's happening wrong. I don't... Yeah, it's like, what were they saying? It wasn't like, was it, I'm still able to focus on my schoolwork, or, oh, it's not taking away from my schoolwork, or something like that, or I only go on Reddit now when I finish school. Like, it was some shit like that. It was some insane statement like that, where they're basically trying to downplay the relationship and the engagement they have in the relationship in this community by saying, no, my schoolwork's going fine, so there's no way this could be a problem.
Him just like trauma dump into a kid because he's a pathetic wretch that hasn't got
Also,
anyone
thank you
else
for the raid, Chud. I missed that for a moment. Thank you for the raid, Chud. Welcome in, Chud. Raiders, welcome in.
But I don't know if he's like taken advantage of a young fan necessarily. That sounds like an excessive framing to me. This is the kind of stuff where Lex, I think, is overstating it. you know, taking advantage of a young fan for attention categorizes it more in the grooming arena than, you know, than what I think it is, which is just being pathetic. And you know.
I think I totally disagree with this framing. Well, not totally disagree. It's not really that far off. However, I do disagree with Chud's framing here, which is the action is taking advantage of a young fan. This is a, you know, it's clearly a malicious way of phrasing it. You are trying to make it sound as damaging as possible. But I think it's accurate. Taking advantage of a young fan for attention. Maybe taking advantage of a young fan for comfort or an emotional outlet. Something like that, maybe. However, fundamentally, that's the action. Jake being pathetic is just the motivation. He's not doing it because he's a pedophile. He's not doing it because he's sexually attracted or sexually interested. He's doing it because he's pathetic. But if you are trauma dumping on a child to try and get some kind of like emotional feedback or emotional consolation, then yeah, I'd say you are, like, to an inappropriate degree. Then you are, you know, you're taking advantage of a child for attention. Fundamentally, you're putting them in a position they shouldn't be put in, where they're listening to some 30-year-old guy fucking rant about his relationship because you can't handle it yourself.
Being willing to talk to a 13-year-old. The other thing as well, I don't know if Jake knows how old this person is or not. I don't know if that's clear. But anyway, let's continue. Take advantage.
Yeah, see, this is the thing, right? Is you should just never break, like, it's bad because you should never put yourself in these situations. You should never put yourself in, like, a even emotionally intimate or really any DM conversation with a 13-year-old online. Because the moment one boundary is broken, the moment one step is taken, it makes the next step infinitely more likely. People think they have, like, perfect control over their actions and they're never going to do anything, like, insane or retarded. But they actually, they're not that as self-controlled as they think. Especially not someone like Jake Weddle, who's got, like, a cocaine habit and all this shit. Or had a cocaine habit, sorry. Like, once you know, one thing that happens, I bring this up a lot. One thing that happens is there are mixed age groups online, say for like a kids or teens IP or franchise. And there is a mixing of people from like age, you know, like 10 to 13, where they're even below the age of social media. But then 13 and up, all the way up to like, you know, 35-year-old autistic guys that like these shows or these games or whatever. And they all join the same Discords and they're all talking. They all have common interests and it all seems like normal social interaction. They all feel chill with each other. But then that's a problem because now that they feel so comfortable with each other, it makes the next step in conversations, the next step where it veers more towards sexual or romantic or intimate in some way, it makes that more likely because they're more likely to step up and get, you know, tempted in some way or feel like the conversation's not, it's okay at the level it's at that point, but then it escalates and they aren't really thinking it through. Things like that can happen. And that's how bad things happen without necessarily anyone going into it with any intention to predate. Right? So you can think, oh, I'm not trying to groom this person. I'm not trying to groom this person. But then, you know, if you're a fucking retard with a coke habit and a developmental disorder or something, if you were that sort of person, and you start talking to 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds online, I mean, well, who knows? Who knows what could happen next? That's why you don't cross that boundary. You don't let yourself start going there. That's the whole point of, you know, the predictors being what? Motive, access, opportunity, and whatever.
Age Keck. So this is the minor presumably pushing back on that concept, right? Okay.
I cannot imagine responding to a DM from a 13-year-old, to be honest. Unless it was like a family member.
Continuing on. Wait, Lex is not known to have lied or something.
Have to be extreme extenuating circumstances.
I have the messages are redacted, and it's not insane at all. Jake and all the subreddits are complicit in censorship are not. I don't know what that fuck. I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know what the fuck is this. Okay, sorry, I'm retarded today. Do you have any leaked DMs between Redacted and Jake? An obsessive parasocial relationship at this age gap isn't normal. Entire subreddits are censoring over Jake and Dawson, bud. Redacted has said this.
You wouldn't give the 13-year-old dating advice like Destiny. Okay.
Bex wants to prove her point. Why she's saying don't want to see that. She knows by doing this, the person behind the account isn't going to post it. I literally say, I can show you our DMs, and she's like, don't want to see that, really. If she want to have proof, doing this makes no sense. She probably didn't want to get in trouble, but he needs to answer this for sure. So we may have to force Jake to leak it, which may be unfortunate. If she wants to have proof, she did the exact thing to prevent this to append. Right, okay. Okay, right, we got there. Lex liked the drawing the miner was making before she claims they were weird. Oh my god, thank you. I love Jake so much. He's a sweetheart. We love you too. Oh! I mean, really all this does is back up the concept that Lex is using this now as a weapon, right? Like, clearly she wasn't that fucking bothered about it before. You know, it's only now that she's going so hard at this. But previously, she was also positively interacting and fueling this parasocial fan relationship as well. So, you have got a part to play in this also from the looks of it. You know?
No. Lex is just trying to bring Jake down. He's a terrible, terrible person. Lex is doing nothing right now. I can't even fake.
But yeah.
Yeah, obviously Lex has culpability in this too. Obviously Lex has culpability. But fundamentally, I think it's Jake's fault. He's the one having these conversations with this kid. He's the one that's put her in this position where she feels the need to defend him.
Like I say, I don't think she really cares about this. This seems way more like a weaponization of it. But anyway, now, and we're getting to the good bit now. Now they have deleted the post. It's still up on the Mr. Beast snark. So this is the post previously. And you can see there's comments here which...
Who's that other YouTuber who made a song about them being friends with a minor? Do you mean Colleen Ballinger?
Review the comments we looked at the other day, essentially. That's still up. False Economics 7405. Me and Edition No 1800 logged the entire server, and we have the Jake Weddle DMs with the miner. We have the DMs, ladies and gentlemen. Repeat, we have the DMs.
Let's go.
Lex does not have this evidence and has been harassing the miner and using this as a way to blast them. We'll be working on the release of the DMs, and unlike Lex, have consulted the miner in question, and we are making a doc. Here is evidence we have access to the logs by showing the first interaction. Oh my god, the first interaction! Jake? Jake? What have you been up to, Jakey boy? What is this, Jake? Oof. Oh dear. Oh dear, Jake. What is this you've been up to? Young man, old man, I should say. And it looks like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So anyway, here it is. This is Jake 22. December 27th, okay? December 27th. Hi, Jake. Just wanted to ask, are you okay?
Oh, no. Guys, sorry. Brief detour, brief distraction. RH383 Productions. I have questions. Is the music the actual music he's dancing to? Can he hear the music? Does he know how to stay on beat? Why does he look like the boss from Grandma's Boy? Wow, you're like a total retailer. Yeah, they're incredibly fucking stupid. Dude, the coping is so crazy too, dude. Why do people do this? I don't understand, like... Help. My vagina just closed up in horror. Like, why are you pretending you wouldn't fuck Hassan? Can we just stop? Cut it out. Cut it out. I'm sorry. It's like, guys, like who's a female celeb everyone hates that they pretend they wouldn't fuck? No, Zendaya is actually beat. Okay. Pokey. Amber Heard. Brie Larson. Not JoJo Siwa. Anyway, yeah, plenty of examples. Plenty of examples. Like, I showed this to my girlfriend. She's covered her drink, even though her son's not even in the room. Dude, what are you talking about? I'm sorry, but Hassan wouldn't need to rape your girlfriend, okay? Like, it's just cope. It's crazy. Like, why not say things that are true? Why not attack him for being a terrorist sympathizer or something? If that's what your problem with him is. Why, like, pretend you're like some Redditor woman and you wouldn't fuck Hassan? Okay. Okay.
Jake responds, yes, I'm okay. Thank you. Angel emoji. I'm sorry about that stream. I didn't want to do that, and I'm not looking forward to that news story blowing up in a few days. Oh, this is about the Lex breakup stuff, I'm assuming. Is that right? So, the first question I've got here, you know, maybe this comes up later and we're not seeing it. Is there any confirmation or knowledge of what this person's age is? Because I'm not seeing it here unless it's been mentioned previously. Well, the thing is, this person is 13, right? But I don't know if there's any knowledge. And yeah, obviously, like, generally speaking, you should check that. Especially before you start talking about
I think there's...
shit.
If you look at all of what's happened, I think it's pretty unreasonable to think that Jake didn't have some idea that this person was young. Like, under 18 young.
Could be wrong. But I'm not sure what knowledge is known about the person's age at this point, you know?
Just with the back and forths that happen in public and stuff like that, I think it's...
Well, I mean, unless there's confirmation of the age somewhere, what this comes across like more is, like I said, it seems like Jake's just a totally pathetic wretch who will...
Yeah, like this person saying, are you okay?
Trauma dump to anyone that will listen without meaningfully checking who they even are, you know? Oh, a fucking fan is reaching out to me. Let me tell them about my relationship woes, you know?
So it's so embarrassing.
So, yeah. The only possible mitigating factor here that I can think is that maybe he doesn't know how old they are. But I'm not going to, 100% get behind that idea. Let's read on anyway. I just found out about what happened today, so I didn't see the stream. Yeah, the commentary people are going to have a field day with this. Yep. I feel really bad because I know you don't deserve that stuff at all. I mean, I'm glad you're all right, but it must be awful having to deal with finding out she was just using you. Jake responds, yeah, but the same thing happened to me a few years ago. I just hate this was so public. This is low. This is Jake Weddle's lowest ebb, I would say. The fact that he's entertaining having this conversation with a random parasocial obsessed fan is deranged in and of itself. I mean, what was he thinking? What on earth was this guy thinking? Why did he do this? What an absolutely idiotic thing to do. Yeah, I get that. I'm really sorry again. You deserve someone better. Cum Nuggets. Yo, Cam Nuggets. Cam Nuggets said before that Lex was rude to him before, so I had my suspicions. Yeah, at least it was short-lived. Now she's going scorched earth. Sad face emoji.
Dude.
Oh my god, dude. The sad face emoji, man.
Wow. My ex has been mean to me online. Wow. Please make me feel better, 13-year-old. Dude, what a fucking freak.
Zooey mama. Cam's dropping a video on it later, and that's the last time I talk about this publicly. Yeah, he told me he's dropping a vid soon. I'm really glad your friends have your back, though. And then Jake says, seems most everyone does this, which is nice. Some people close to me are put off by going through such an online breakup. I can't blame them. I'm put off by it too, lol. And this is my third messy breakup in a row. Oh my god.
A loser and a creep, that's 2 out of 3.
What? What? Why are you saying all this to this person? Oh man. Like father, like son. Someone needs to, this is what I thought maybe for the thumbnail for this. You could have like, you know, Jake Weddle's face and Nathan Weddle's face next to each other. Like father, like son, question mark. You know, when they do the split face thing. I think that would go hard. Third messy breakup in a row. And second one where I was targeted and financially exploited. So no dating for me for a year. What do you mean put off? Like, A, it's a bad look. And B, there could be sexist undertones. Aiden's audience is vile. Oh, Aiden! Aiden call out. Hey, look, Nathan Weddle's in chat. Aiden's getting called out here for the looks of it.
Yo, big ups Nathan Weddle in chat. Let's go. Big ups Nathan Weddle. Let's go, Nathan.
What's going on there? Don't want Lex getting harassed more, but she keeps jumping on it. Oh. Like, I see, you can't see it, but it just says, like, I see where they're coming from. I didn't want to do it either. And then shrugging emoji. Okay. Troubling. Troubling messages, certainly. I don't think that Jake is like a full-blown pedo, right? This reads more as just like reckless trauma dumping than anything else. It's got recollections. Remember Sia? I think Sia did something similar. It was claimed that Sia was some sort of gig of nonce. And you look at it and he's just doing this kind of weird trauma dumping with someone who, in Sia's case, I think it was known they were a minor. And in this case, he's doing it at best recklessly and at worst knowing that they're a minor. And it's just not the kind of conversation that you should be having when you're 28 and they're 13. So I think this would, like obviously someone like Lex just wants Jake to respond because she wants to see him suffer, right? I don't necessarily want to see Jake suffer. I'm kind of over the fucking, all the Mr. Beast shit. I don't really care much about it
fuck
anymore.
this guy.
But I do think that Jake should, address this and comment on this and just.
Does this guy remember that Jake Weddle threatened to sue me, and much less importantly, threatened to sue Hellbent? Hello?
Open up a bit about what the fuck happened here. But yeah, this is obviously a completely unacceptable conversation to have with a parasocial fan, let alone someone who is a minor. How much Jake knew of that, we can't be sure. But, I mean, let's just throw up quickly. I think if you look at the posts, it's like, it's pretty clear this person's like a bit weird at best. Where are they? Let's have a little look here. Yeah, this is it here, isn't it? This is the original post. Haven't been drawing too much because of life stuff. Still on that shit posting grind, though. So they were drawing these kind of like images. Are they here? Oh, it's the fucking Lyrics is back. Let's go. No, it's not there. Where's the images? There are some really funny images that they drew, which are these like weird, like illustrations of like a weird sexual thing going on, like a sort of, fake gay relationship thing being pushed. I'll see if I can find it on their profile. But yeah, I mean, has Jake said anything about this? See, it's a bit tough because it's like, I can understand, like, Lex is obviously just trying to absolutely destroy this guy. And it's like, well, that sucks. That kind of sucks, I guess. But, like, it does look like you've done something very inappropriate here. And so you probably do just need to, address it and speak on it, I'd say.
Jake Weddle does absolutely... His feet need to be held to the fire. This guy needs to be held accountable for this terrible indiscretion. What could he even say? What can he even say? Like, it's kind of just there. Like, we can see what happened. We can see he was being a fucking weirdo talking to this kid. Dumping his personal shit.
Oh, here we go. Stuff. Oh no, this isn't it. Random doodles. I don't want to scroll through the whole account. You know, I'm trying to be a bit sensible about this. But it's quite clear that they're like not.
No, nothing sexual
at best. Oh, this is it here. Stuff like this. So this is the kind of stuff that they were drawing.
It's just like, he's just dumping his relationship problems on some fucking 13-year-old.
So this is the kind of stuff that they're drawing. They reach out to you to say, "Hey, are you okay?"
Dude.
And you start trauma dumping about how much your relationships suck. I mean, what? And they're a minor, although we don't know how much Jake knew of that. But I mean, come on, dude. This is an easy, like.
I think it's
okay,
ridiculous to think he didn't know the age.
Thanks for
based
your
on the
concern.
evidence.
I'll be fine. Good luck. End it. End it there. Why are you entertaining a conversation with someone who draws pictures of this of you? I mean, to be fair, this.
Like, look, this person posting. This is the same person. This is the kid. None of the sillies, yippies jumps up and down.
Was drawn afterwards, but there's other examples of before this of like similar styles of art being drawn. So even then, you know, even if like at that point you didn't know, there's other information that suggested this person was like just a bit weird, you know, which is obviously a product of them being a minor. But yeah.
Look here, 3 months ago. This is totally public. Weird ass people here. WTF is this? Peak. Pay attention in school, you for Joshi. I'm doing very, very well in school. TYSM. All people should have a good internet life balance. You obviously spend too much time on the internet. Okay. So even here, 3 months ago, in school. You know what you've been in school.
Hyperfixation. Good way of looking at it. So anyway, let's see what the YouTube drama people's conclusion was of this. Let's have a look.
Dude, the Torre's like 50. That bitch sounds like Xylee.
So here's what we can say. All three of us, including Goose, can say with confidence, Jake is not only not a pedophile, get that part right for starters, but Lex lied to you about having the logs. The messages are weird, as Jake shouldn't be interacting with a 13-year-old at all or venting about his ex. Agreed? Goose was forced to resolve this directly because Jake was not responsible and put this kid in harm's way. The issue isn't the messages only, but the things that happened after. Dogpack and Roe are mentioned in the logs, which means Jake has implicated them because of his own shitty choice to message this minor. Oh, Rosanna Pansino and Dogpack. Your boy Jake's been caught with his red-handed doing this. What you got to say about that then? Where's your little quirky video about that? Obviously, you know, Dogpack was deeply concerned with some of the conversations that were happening in his Mr. Beast group chat. So surely he's got to have some takes on this, one would have thought, no? When it was discovered...
So we need Dogpack to come back and expose Jake Weddle. We need a new Dogpack video now.
That Jake was messaging the minor. Lex and Edna did not reach out to the minor, and Goose reached out and sent them the screenshots as Lex was claiming Jake is a pedophile and compared him to Ava. I mean, this is not that level. Unless there was some sort of more explicit sexual context, that this is not comparable to the Ava stuff. The problem with the Ava shit is the sending of sexualized material, which doesn't seem to have happened here. You know? It's a different...
Yeah, I'm going to speed this up.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, Goose, I got that wrong earlier. I'll take the L on that. So Silly Goose is this person, I guess. So that's a different individual, I'm assuming. I thought that was Lex. I'll take the L on that.
Also, guys, now is a great time to remind you, okay? 444 people here right now. 57 likes on stream. Sometimes 400 or so people. Wouldn't mind please moving their cursor to thumbs up and clicking it, or pressing the thumbs up on the mobile device. That'd be hugely appreciated. Now, if you want to take your support one step further, you can donate directly through a Stream Elements link in the pinned chat message. You can also buy a membership to the channel, gift a membership to the channel, gift a whole bunch of memberships randomly throughout the chat, buy a super chat which will highlight a message and read it on TTS, or buy a super sticker, which is a YouTube image or GIF, leave a highlights in chat, and I'll describe it to you. You can go to discord.gg/Kuihman, twitter.com/Kuihman, or reddit.com/r/Kuihman. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, we're going to get through the rest of Jake Weddle stuff, and then we have Just a Robot released a new video about Frogan and the content cop. So it's going to be epic, okay, guys? Huge new stuff. Remember when Just a Robot said he wasn't doing drama anymore?
Have some money, sir. Your streams are great.
Thank you for the $10, SEO. Remember when Just a Robot said he wouldn't do drama again, and now he's decided to do a video that is tangentially related to the Israel-Palestine conflict? Why? Why? I know why. I know why. Because Jar is, like, as much as he's an autist, a bumbling autist, he is also, like, a sort of... in fact, we'll talk about this when we get there. We'll talk about this. I'll leave this for a moment. Let's finish this.
The screenshots Lex had given the content creators are from Goose when he was in the MIB server. Lex does not have the logs. All her lies. Okay, we've seen this part already. Wait. What is... Oh, sorry. Okay, so we've got some backwards... Personally, I think I need to see more evidence before I assume he's a pedo. Loser for sure, but there are people claiming they've seen information they're not willing to release, and all of them legitimately have a vendetta against Jake. Yeah, it's very obvious that, yeah, it's overstating what there is in order to make a stronger case against Jake than is justified by the messages. That's what it seems like to me. However, I would also prefer if the shit didn't get posted to drama subs and instead got reported to the FBI. Unless there's something more in those messages that we can't see, I doubt there's going to be any legal case to answer to. You know, as deranged as it is, I don't know if talking to a 13-year-old on the internet about your relationship problems is necessarily against the law. I think generally speaking, there needs to be more egregious behavior to trigger the law, I would have thought. Is it true the Reddit accounts have bios? Does it mention age anywhere on the account? I think the account was set up in 2020. So, something like that, I think. I don't know if there's no age as such, as far as I understand it. I don't like to see that. I think they're lying about the kids. To be honest, his whole post seems fishy, and if you followed any Mr. Beast stuff, he has a tendency to hire or pay people to spread his propaganda. Like Soggy Sierra is a great example. And then there's Lex, who legitimately got caught faking being abused. Edit. Notice the two main people who seem to be pushing these allegations are in this thread. I'm sorry, is the minor even involved? It just seems like people are claiming this minor is being groomed, claiming they've taken the evidence, and choosing to make this into a drama campaign instead of taking this to the police. Just because I didn't engage with drama doesn't mean I lied about anything. Like you said, evidence belongs to the authorities, not the internet. I don't need to prove myself to you, no matter how entitled you think you are to details about my personal life. I was there, you weren't. I really don't care about anyone's personal opinion regarding something they know nothing about. You know, damn well police wouldn't take this kind of shit seriously. Grooming is a complex thing. Oh, so yeah, she was saying it was grooming, right? I couldn't remember whether she was explicitly saying that. Yeah, she's saying that what Jake did was grooming. And without more solid ground, it's not grooming. Doesn't seem like grooming to me. Yeah, she has exaggerated from the sounds of it, yeah. And of course, we're in this thread. I got sent this by a friend. I'm mentioning it. I'm an internet user like everyone else. And then obviously we've seen that part about the crashing out already. We also have the messages saved, which they apparently don't.
I bet Kuihman is gleeful that post got deleted. Now he doesn't have to read it himself. He can just play Chud's video and no one will question it. Problem? I actually get linked an archive of it too, but I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna use Chud's coverage. Why would I do extra work? He's already read it out.
Well, I don't know if the cops would laugh, but the cops would probably say, this doesn't meet any
Save myself some effort. Work smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying?
Something like that. Something along those lines. You know. Obviously, I'm no legal expert, but I'd be surprised if this would trigger any legal aspect. But there we go, guys. Is Nathan Weddle like father, like son? Well, no, because Nathan Weddle was actually a convicted pedo.
Wrong. Okay, well, Jake may not be a convicted pedophile like his father. However, I will say they both have a lack of boundaries with minors. They both appear to have a lack of boundaries with minors. Not very good at upholding boundaries with minors. So in that respect, Jake is actually very similar to his father. Not to quite the same severity, but they do have a similar trait.
Molest kids, I believe. And it seems like Jake's crime here is being a pathetic, worthless wretch who, you know, before they've even seemingly checked the age, don't know if they knew it or not, but before they even checked the age, they're immediately trauma dumping about their relationship plights. So, not good. Not good by any means, but certainly not as bad as people like Lex are making it out to be. That's my...
And yet, there's an argument that, you know, actually... there's an argument that really, you know, It almost makes sense. Like, you know, some deranged, psychotic, sexual deviant raping a kid. Like that logically, you know, they're a deranged sexual deviant. You understand where that's coming from. Why is someone talking about their relationship to a 13-year-old? What's going on there? What like advice or emotional support are you hoping to get from a fucking 13, like a dumb as you know, a 13-year-old posting fan art of YouTubers that makes them look gay on Reddit? You know, adults doing that probably aren't the best emotional support. I gotta be real. So why are you talking to a kid about it?
And I think Jake ought to respond, honestly. I mean, the reality is Jake's best bet in terms of drama would be to just ignore this. But that would be the kind of least ethical way of handling it, I think. I think it would be far better for him to just address it head on and just, you know, just say what was going on. Just say, hey. Which I presume would be, you know, I'm a pathetic loser.
Could you do the Arrested Development argument?
Well, I didn't have the forethought to consider the danger or risks of my actions. To be honest, it would be less... Yeah, this is actually more embarrassing than if he's a full-blown pedo, to be honest with you.
Fuck, Chud makes basically that joke right here.
He's such a pathetic loser, he can't even commit to being a full-blown pedo. All he's got is, yeah, I've got
Dude, what a fucking loser.
That's the best that he's got to offer.
This guy sucks, man. Fuck this guy.
Oh,
it's like the same joke. What a fucking asshole. This guy sucks.
That was a fun segment. I enjoyed that. That was good. Okay. Where was Lex threatening to hack the miner? I missed that part of the story. I thought that was going to be a bigger piece of this. That's why I mistakenly assumed that this goose person was Lex. I thought that's what it was talking about. But it seems like here, this I believe is Lex, and she doesn't actually seemingly want to get them involved. So, yeah. Honestly, mostly seems like Lex should be facing charges threatening to hack a miner and should be the absolute focus of the story. Also, from the messages you've shown, yeah, Jake did something weird, but I really hesitate to say morally wrong or anything like that.
No, it is wrong.
Well, the problem is that, you know, the reason you wouldn't have this conversation is because of the risks that come associated with it. You've got like a parasocial fan who you speaking to them this way could further provoke that dynamic in their head, and it could lead to unforeseen negative consequences for them if they, say, get further into their obsession or, you know, feel like they've got a meaningful friendship with you or something like that. So I do think it's morally wrong on those grounds. You know, I don't think you should have a conversation with someone who's 13 of this nature. That's very unacceptable behavior. So I do think it's morally wrong. That feels like a bit of a sweep, to be honest with you. It's not morally wrong to trauma dump to someone who you at the very least didn't check the age of about your relationship problems. I think it's morally wrong to trauma dump to an adult parasocial obsessive fan about your strife. This is far too intimate a relationship to have with a child, especially one you're a total stranger to. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Chud sweep for the Whittler. How am I sweeping for the Whittler? It's not Peter. No, I don't think that he's a pedophile. No. I don't think there's a sexual attraction here. Right? This is about, you know, him just anywhere that he can vent about.
Okay, maybe we skip through about this.
It's an allegation that has some basis in truth, in that there is an inappropriate... He's snark, apparently a really nice dude in reality. Definitely a tad aloof, you know.
I don't think I care about any of the like bickering about the way they conducted this investigation or whatever. I don't really care about any of that stuff on Reddit.
Yes, this is my Reddit. Is this the Goose person? No. Goose would not receive the full allegations of pedophilia. Full DMs with Jake. I think I just want to see it just to make sure nothing weird is going on. Nothing against Jake, but it's just concerning due to the ages of you and him, but I'm sure nothing bad is going on. Yeah, yeah. Oh my! Oh, there's got to be some more. Oh, a bit more juice in the attic, in the cup, in the. You did anything?
Are there no Discord DMs?
Not imagine.
Or are these Discord DMs?
Begging you, it would be good to just clear the air about you being a bit weird. You know, if I'm messaging this minor was wrong. Jake should be called out. Jake shouldn't have messaged the kid either way. Yep. He was nonsense.
Okay. Yeah, Chud just said he was nonsense by the looks of it. That's Chud's words, not mine. Okay. I think that's all we're gonna get here. So, there's more DMs being released. I read the Reddit post. The person is just blurring out the miner's name first. Okay. Well, I guess we may have an update to that soon then. Let me just play this 2 seconds, then we'll get into the froggen video.
But yeah, guys, that's it, I think. There we go. There is the Jake Weddle tent. That was quite fun. I enjoyed